5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're old, groaning like a geezer.
Hey, where's the beef?
Nick Cage. Wow. Hey, everybody. It is once again time for Graybeard's Studio. This is episode 115, if you can freaking believe it. All right. You guys have been bugging me. You've been on my back. You've been on my case. Where are the superstars? Where are the guest stars? Where are the people that we want to see? Because apparently I'm not good enough for you, but that's fine. Because today we doubled up. We have two heavy hitters coming in here, and David Williams is already talking trash. So this should be an excellent episode. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to hit the like and subscribe to make this channel even more great than it already is. Okay, let's bring in the crew. Let's see who's here. If you're in Vegas, remember, always bet on black. It's David Williams.
That's right.
There's a little bit of competition here today, David. Are you feeling it?
No, because my only goal is to take out Graham Nolan.
Okay, so you're focusing specifically on Graham. Okay,
only on Graham.
All right. So, well, we'll get to that in a minute. All right. Here's a guy who has trouble focusing at any time. It's Gary Martin. Hey, Gary.
Aaron,
Yep.
You know that I used to participate in lots of sports.
Yes.
But then I realized you can just buy trophies. So now I'm good at everything.
Yeah.
Bocce ball? Yeah, I'm a 4-time regional champion.
And it just costs an extra $10 to have that put in there. Okay. All right. Here's a guy who doesn't say much, but he draws big. It's Dan Lawless. Hey, Dan.
You know, you did it to me again. You said, here's a guy who has trouble focusing. And I didn't know if it was going to be Gary or me. I assumed it was me. You know, it's like,
wait a minute, Dan, you know the pecking order by now. You know your last one in. You know
still,
that.
it seemed like you make a strong case, you know, for me, you know.
Well, I guess you and Gary have a lot in common that maybe we hadn't really thought about before. But,
yeah, I definitely have trouble focusing.
All right. You guys, we have two major guest stars today. This is
David already blew it, revealing
what?
one. David already blew it with revealing one of them.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
we
promoted Graham. We promoted Graham. It was the double secret guest star that we didn't promote that we're going to reveal to everybody here.
We did promote Graham, okay.
But so let's bring him in. He's a guy who intimidates on the drawing table as well as in person. It's Graham Nolan.
I got your number, David Williams.
See?
We'll see.
It's on. It's on. Graham, this is your second trip to the show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here and to do battle
Pleasure
with David Williams. Apparently, the rest of us are not
I'm
involved.
Irish. I like to fight. So
now, well, you know, and here's something else. Now, here's a guy, the only guy I know of in the comic book industry that would willingly get in the ring with you, Graham, if a shot of bourbon was on the line. So please, everybody, welcome the great Ron Garney. There he is.
All
And it's empty.
Fight over it.
Oh no, it isn't empty.
Ready?
Bring that to Garden State, Ron, and then we'll go at it.
Yeah. We'll chug the whole bottle in one outing.
No doubt.
Ron, I want to thank you for coming on. I've been trying to get you on this show for a while, and you finally caved. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you caving into the pressure.
Things are getting desperate, huh, for you? Falling tough times, huh?
Ron's been dodging Aaron for years.
Well, well, Ron, you do realize that after appearing on this show, it's all downhill from here.
I had heard that.
Yeah, Gary. And now he's going to dip. He's going to dip out. He's like, whoa, wait a minute now.
It's a career-killing move, you know.
Look at this. Best Age Comics. Hail Ron. Jimmy Owens. No way. Jimmy may have fainted when you came on. So
Ron Garney, oh my God.
I may have to do, like, what do they call that? A wellness call or whatever to check on someone to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Dan, by the way, great job on my Conan cover some years back.
What Conan cover? Huh?
You colored a Conan cover of mine. You forgot already, huh?
You don't remember?
You're lying. You know.
Look at Dan.
Yeah, he
He's
knows.
trying to pretend he doesn't remember.
I
There's
don't
only
think
one that I
We forget everything.
So stop pretending you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I may have done that for a sample, but I don't think I did it.
No,
for
you
print.
didn't do it professionally. You just kind of colored it and threw it up on.
Yeah, okay, that I remember. Yeah, right. I'm
Do
thinking,
you
gosh,
have
my brain's kind of going, holy shit.
Dan's like, I didn't get paid for that. Where's the money?
Yeah, I wonder if I could find that. That was
Yeah, I'd like to see that if you have.
Yeah, if you can find it, Dan, pull it up.
Dennis Rodriguez says Ron is rum in Spanish.
Well, that makes sense.
There you go.
Oh, I know. This is the one. Oh, yeah. I think is the. Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Owens confirmed. Hang on. Jimmy Owens confirmed. He says, "Yes, I about passed out. I love Ron's work." There you go. Jimmy's a good lad. So
Yeah. Okay. So Jimmy, you like his work, but what do you think of Ron as a human being?
Oh, see,
Well,
now you're put him on the spot.
Ask most people, they'll give you the opposite answer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is all that backdrop with all my Daredevil and stuff on there? That's cool.
Well, we talked about doing Superman when I talked to you guys last week, but David had this whole thing. He's like, don't announce it. Let's make it a secret. And then we'll put up a poll with categories that are all like Ron's stuff, and then see if people can figure out that.
Why mine?
Well, because you haven't been on the show before.
You've never been here.
Okay.
You're a guest. Graham's been here before. You have not. So you're like the extra special guy because this is your first trip on.
Yeah, we're gonna be nice to you first, for first time, anyways.
Yeah, this is the first time. We're gonna be nice.
Got a grace period here.
Then when I watch the show, it's like, what an asshole.
Well, that grace period lasts for about halfway into the show, and then it's all bets are off. So
that's true. Yeah, it'll be all compliments and an hour in, and then the tide will turn.
That's right.
Yeah, I got to get both of them. I only had one of them.
Okay. So anyway, what won the poll was I combined like two characters for each poll choice. So Daredevil and Ghost Rider actually won the poll. But I'm telling you guys, since I told you guys Superman before we, last week, you can draw whatever you want. Okay. I'm just saying that. You don't have to feel pressured by the fan base that's sitting here in the chat, the hundreds of people watching right now that are expecting you.
Exactly. They will mock you relentlessly. Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want. We're just happy that you guys are here.
Oh, yeah. So if you're immune to abuse, draw whatever you want.
Well, last time I asked him, he said I didn't have to draw anything. I just had to come on the
show.
That's
okay. Yeah, but things change over time.
Oh, I see.
Well, no, that's true. Yeah, there's one person on the show that doesn't draw already, so that means that anybody can not draw.
That's true. Yeah. Gary's already set the precedent. So If you don't want to draw, Ron, you want to disappoint all these people, that's fine. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pressure you in any way to do that.
I'm just telling them the lie you told me to get me on the show.
Okay. Well,
What you can do is pick on our drawings and our insecurities and just.
That's right, Ron. Don't be
Yeah,
shy.
you could go, hey, that's not what I would do.
Yeah, Aaron, that looks great. It's not what I would do, but hey.
Are you gonna go ahead with that direction?
My cup of tea.
You're no Ron Garney.
Keep trying.
All right.
Imagine if I said that.
You should.
You're no Ron
I would
Garney.
love it. You'd sound like Steve Rude then.
That would make Ron. That would make a great T-shirt. You could wear it at shows.
You're no Ron Garney.
Yeah.
I remember Steve Rude, actually. I was at the 96 Eisner Awards. I was nominated that year, and so was Steve Rude in the same category. And he won, and he gets up there, and Will Eisner standing right behind him. Now, Will Eisner at that time was like 85 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just standing there with a smile on his face, and Steve Rude gets up for his acceptance speech, and he's like going on and on. Then he goes, and this guy right here, and he points right at Will with his finger right here. And he says, this guy's not going to be around much longer. So you need to go and you need to come up and ask his advice on things. And everybody goes,
Oh my God.
Will's just
Sorry,
standing there
guys.
with a smile on his face, like, I'm not dead yet.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm sure he meant
technically
well.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm sure. Oh man.
In fact, Will, how are you feeling?
don't make any sudden movements.
Well, I sat next to Rude at one of those Spectrum shows, and it was quite an experience. The conversations we had.
Well,
But,
he's on the spectrum, right?
That's why he was at the Spectrum show.
No, that's serious. He is.
I'm not surprised by this. David Williams got in a fist fight with him over Gil Kane once, so
I didn't get in a fist fight.
Almost.
That conflict escalates every time you mention it.
Hey, it's all about the entertainment value. All right.
Stop drawing.
Yeah, I was going to say Graham and Ron, they're going to be done before I even stop talking.
I know. If the contest is
okay, I'm going to be done in 15 minutes.
I'm being frank with you. I don't draw fast sketches well. So it's going to be a bit for me.
Okay, good. Well, you got time. We got time. We're relaxed.
All right, Aaron, show these colors that Ron's work. I think this is the one we're talking about, Ron, right?
This
is
one
it?
right there?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And the original is down there. Did you do the red one too?
Yeah, I did. I just did it 2 versions.
Yeah, because the red one is similar to the one that got printed.
Yeah,
but it looks great. I don't know. If I color something just for fun, I'm a fan of your drawing. So, well, thank you. It's great coloring. I remember your stuff from you've been around a long time.
Yeah, I was in comics from '87 to '97.
Yeah, I remember seeing your work way back then.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like Will Eisner. He may not be with us much longer. So,
Yeah.
You've got a great comic name, Wallace.
Yeah,
I like what you did with the fur on the wolf too. Looks really soft and fuzzy.
Aaron, that should be the theme for your show from now on. Is
which one do you like?
That may not be with us much longer, so catch them while you can.
Dan, which one do you like more?
I think I might go with the blue, but honestly, they're both. I think they worked out both fine, but both versions,
I like that intensity of that red. To be honest with you,
that is cool. That's really.
I like the red too.
Go back to the blue.
Yeah, I think the only thing about this one is it might work better with the white wolf, but
I was gonna say that I think the wolf works better on that background.
Well, yeah, and his nose is redder in the.
I think it's whenever you use a real warm background, it tends to crush the depth of Tad. Maybe that's what's going on there. The wolf definitely looks better than the blue, but I like them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I had a blast drunk calling it. So, yep.
Stealth X5 for $2 says hello. Thanks, Stealth. We appreciate that. And the Vespa guy for $10 says hail Graybeards and esteemed guests. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate it, you guys. All right, we do a little round robin of show and tell here. We'll do that real quick. David, you got anything you want to share?
Sure. I actually sent you something, but I'll show you something on my desk too.
Oh,
So these are the sketches of the commissions that I've been working on.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Love that green arrow. That's cool.
Looks fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
is that Jonah Hex? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Jonah Hex. So all of these are going to be paintings. You already saw I started painting on this one already.
Right.
Where is it?
I gotta say, you know, seeing the rough sometimes, you know, that initial sketch, it's got that feel. It's just it's hard to sometimes capture.
The energy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, David always includes that rough sketch with the finished commission. So
Yes, I do.
you get them both.
And this
Oh,
was
that
the
looks
hot girl
great.
from last Graybeards. So I finished it. And
Wow.
those wings took forever.
Freaking awesome.
No,
man.
like no winged characters anymore. Are you going to color that, or are you going to leave it black and white?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna paint this too. Just
All right.
Well, you're gonna
Give it
go
a
over that
little-
with paint or just?
yeah.
Oh, I'd be afraid of that.
I don't think the boobs are big enough.
What?
They're bigger than her mace. They're bigger than her mace.
Uh,
Well, she's squishing them up, like a push-up bra, kind of.
yeah. So I sent a couple of other things. They're in the message.
Why do you always do this to me?
Graybeards.
Gotta
I
dig
know,
this
I know.
stuff out.
I remember I got these for
Here's the
Joe.
one.
Oh, okay. Well, this is apropos, as David always is, apropos to the subject matter of the day.
It's a blast from the past.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big boobs, oh boy.
This one's,
Big
this
boobs.
one's purely for Ron.
Oh yeah. Well, he'll appreciate it, I'm sure.
What's that?
Oh, just a second. You'll get it in a second. I'm downloading some stuff on Twitter. Okay.
Nice.
Here
You
we
got a
go.
lighter with a lighter.
All right. So this is also David is trying to intimidate Graham, I think, is what he's doing here. But I don't know if it's going to work. There we go.
So that was a commission some years ago. All marker.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Fantastic.
Classic DD.
I love the gargoyle.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He's teabagging the gargoyle.
That's right.
I was thinking about that, but I couldn't think of
You're gonna leave it for Ron to say. I'm not gonna say
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
That's not a gargoyle.
And the gargoyle's tongue is sticking out like
That's no.
Yeah. See that? Yep.
That's no
God.
gargoyle.
the gargoyle is going to gurgle his nuts.
Okay.
the gargoyle.
Oh, the parents are gonna start writing into me again.
Again.
Yeah, why? When did they before?
David always gets me in trouble. Okay, now here you go, Ron. I want you to. What do you think? What do you think of this rack right here?
Holy cannoli! Look at it.
Whoa.
And those are gigantor, ginormous, orbulus, plumulus, gigantor,
Milkers.
plus milkulus.
That was done on
Double
this show,
D.
wasn't it? Didn't you
Yes,
do this?
it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I did.
I like how she's she's got that, and she's got those ginormous orbs. But then she's got that nice conservative hairstyle.
Yeah, right.
Those are birthing hips, man.
Oh my
I
God.
like how you see a bit of the ass cheeks underneath.
We got a few holy molies in the chat. Sequential artist for $2 says David Williams is the answer to the question. Gary, was that a bad joke on his question commission?
That could be interpreted many ways.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. just in case. And then last one here. Look at Graham. He's so like focused. He's not taking this lightly.
That's why I do convention sketches fast. So
Oh
Look at
man,
this
that
round.
reminds me of a piece I just did for a guy.
Look
What?
at this, Graham. Are you scared?
Break it
Who, me?
Crap, pay attention.
You're not even looking.
Graham's like, yeah, that's nice.
Man,
Are you scared? He's not even looking up.
Graham's like, yeah, that's nice, David. That's
Yeah,
nice.
it's a cute little drawing.
That's a cute little drawing.
Inked by Arthur Adams. Hey.
Oh, how cute.
so I mean, it's so good, man.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, okay. All right, Dan, did you have anything else? Oh, you do.
Yeah, actually, speaking of sequential artists, here is his commission. When I did this this drawing on the show a couple weeks back, right? And then
That was on
I
paper,
put,
right?
yeah, on paper. And what I did, I did my old technique where I put the frosted mylar over the picture and just colored it. So he's actually going to get 2 pieces of art for the price of 1. So,
Wow,
That's a deal.
Trying to be like me.
look at that.
So, and I think that he wanted the school colors that I think it's LSU. I think. Oh, yeah, let's see what. He has college colors. He wanted that to be on her.
Oh, the LSU Tigers. I get it. Very nice, Dan.
Yeah,
Very
let me just
nice.
make sure that's the case. I don't want to say another college.
No,
Yes,
I know it's
LSU.
purple and yellow, purple and gold. It's LSU.
Yep. So,
Do,
anyways, as soon as he coughs up the money, I will send it to him.
Susie.
I have to send people out to go get them. So, anyways, it was fun. But this is that old technique that I used in all those trading cards. It's colored pencil, and it really looks like kind of like paint. And it's fun because you put that mylar right over the drawing. You can see right through it better than you can tracing paper, and you just color it. So it's a pretty cool technique. The only thing it doesn't reproduce really well. That's why I kind of dropped it. But
You get 2 originals, right?
yeah, he'll get both of these. They're 2 different.
Well, you're
things.
going to frame that, and so you're going to have the color with the pencil drawing. So
Yeah.
But no, I was amazed when you told me that all that like the Savage Tales stuff and the covers you did were all. I thought they were all painted, and you're like, no,
Yep.
it's all colored pencil. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Cool.
Hey, when I set up my drawing table, I'll pull it out, and you can. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't say that. And
Yeah, wait a minute. What
so
are
you
threatening
can't
us
can't
with?
say anything on these shows anymore. Like,
This got clipped.
for same excuse me when I whip it out.
All right, very nice. Okay, so there we go. Gary, you have something here.
Yeah, I mentioned that I was going to share this last
Oh
week.
yeah, I saw this.
Many of you know that a lot of my commission requests are recreations. I kind of specialize in doing recreations. This is kind of an odd request. A client wanted me to recreate an 8-page Robert Crumb story. And this is, as far the research that I did, this might be his least weird story.
And you're doing all the lettering too.
Yes. The after Robert Crumb. This
Sure,
was
still.
yeah. The client wanted me to tighten up the inking somewhat, and if you look up close, you can kind of see that's what I did.
Tighten up, tighter than what Crumb would have done, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was some of his earlier work, so it was looser than like his illustrative stuff. And as the story progressed, like the first couple of pages, his inking is tighter than the last few, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I tried to keep it consistent. And I'm going to show the first 4 pages, and next week I will show the last 4.
Has a bit of a Virgil Finley feel to all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And his inking has that.
Was he
Old
using a pen for his
I
inking?
couldn't tell. I think it was some brush and some pen. Mine is all brush because that's the tool that I use. But I think it's kind of half and half. So let's see, it's page 3. And I see it's heavily illustrated. And
It's like you did more lettering than you did drawing.
yeah, this story is extremely
very dense.
text heavy. Very text heavy.
Cool. Very
So,
cool.
So really, Alan Moore was ripping off Robert Crumb, is what you're saying,
well,
or Claremont. One of the two.
next week I will share the last 4 pages.
Man, you get some really interesting commission requests.
Yes, I do.
All right, so we're going to get drawn because Ron's already halfway done and Graham's on his second drawing already.
Oh, we're not showing commissions? Okay.
So, David, what are you doing?
I'm drawing Daredevil.
Okay. Graham, do you want to? You don't have to show your drawing, but you can. Are you doing Daredevil?
I am. I don't
Okay.
have any experience with either of these characters, and none
Oh,
of them.
it'll show too.
Oh, I'm sure it will. And neither of them are my favorites, so I'm going off on a little.
That will definitely show.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
It's all about the challenge, Graham, and of course David is drawing Daredevil just so we can directly compete against you. So I don't know what this vendetta thing he's got going, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, what's the deal with that with this competition?
Oh, David's a dick.
That's all. I'm a good.
Yeah, David's just being a dick. That's what it's. Dan, what are you gonna do?
Daredevil for sure, because I'm a
my
huge
God.
Gene Colan fan, and his Daredevil stuff is just I love it.
So you're gonna go Gene Colan Daredevil.
I hope so.
Kelvin Bitch, what are you working on?
Daredevil.
Okay, am I the only guy? Am I the only guy drawing Ghost Rider today? Okay, I
Looks
guess I
like
am.
it.
I like Ghost Rider, but I just love Daredevil more.
Okay, all right. I guess I'm the only guy not drawing Daredevil, so I actually feel like a little.
Hey,
I'm kind of
do
in
you
a
wanna-
safe zone.
Aaron,
Yes.
do you want to make me big screen for a second? I'll show you this drawing,
Okay.
and then because people are very curious about what I used to use. I don't use it anymore, but so here's the drawing I did last, a couple weeks ago, and this is you just put this over it. It is like a frosted mylar. It is not vellum. Everyone think, oh, it looks like vellum. Nope, not vellum. It's it's like a mylar, but it's got a frosted edge to it, and it takes color pencil so it looks like paint.
So you
it's
basically went over the black line work too.
Yeah. See, let's see. I can put a drawing.
So it really is 2 separate drawings. I thought maybe you use the line work from the pencil drawing, but you didn't. You went over the top of it anyway. Look at that.
Yeah, watch this. Okay, so I got a drawing here.
Uh-huh.
Put it underneath this color pencil. Look how you can see through it
Oh yeah.
really, really well. And you could ink on this. You can do anything you want. Color pencil. It's durable. This stuff's I've had it for 30 years or something. So it holds up.
Very nice. Okay.
So he asked for this. He asked for this to be colored, and I said, you know what? I think I'll just put one of those mylar sheets over it and color it, and it did.
That turned out great. Fantastic.
Do you know anybody else that does this?
Nobody.
Did you invent this technique?
I can't say invented it. They used to use it in auto design at the art school I was at.
Okay.
So it was a big it's a great durable paper, great for drawing, sketching on, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how or why they developed this. Might have something to do with drafting. But as far as an illustrator, I'm the only person I know who uses it or has ever used it. So
That's very cool. Ron, I wanted to ask you, was Ghost Rider your first regular title at Marvel?
No, it was my 3rd or 4th.
What did you start on?
Moon Knight. Well, I did G.I. Joe was the first thing I'd ever done for Marvel. And then little did I know. It was funny because I agreed to do G.I. Joe. And in the meantime, Danny Fingeroth had called me up while I was working on that, asked me if I wanted to be the regular artist on Moon Knight. Now, I had just started at Marvel, literally just started. And so I was like, I didn't know how to say no. I was like, yeah, sure. mean, I was so flattered. And so then Bobby Chase got pissed because she was going to offer me G.I. Joe. And so they had to have some kind of editorial meeting and make sure to clear it with all the other editors and stuff before they, solicited.
Didn't you like Moonlight? I like Moonlight. Did you?
Oh, I did. I did. I mean, I loved it because it was my first long-term book, and I got to work with the great Tom Palmer,
Oh, really? I always wanted to have him ink my stuff. Oh man.
Yeah, it was the best of times and the worst of times, only because the best of times because he's so amazing. But the worst of times, ultimately, in the long run, because there was no identity of mine underneath it. Because I was kind of doing breakdowns because he just wanted to do finishes for the most part.
Right.
But I, kind of insisted on doing full pencils, and then, and it just got to a point where, it was just very heavy on top of me. Not that I didn't appreciate every waking moment of it. It was great, but I ultimately had to move on and, start to work on it on my own identity instead of being underneath that. And I tended to have a few inkers like that, who were awesome, and I was honored to work with, like Sal Buscema. But ultimately, I had to move on and keep pushing towards just inking my own stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because as you guys know, ultimately, it's never really fully yours.
Nope. Yeah.
Completely until you ink your own work, because there's so many things you can see in it when you're penciling it that you would do that you're never going to get back from the inker. So.
Yep. I've seen a lot of stuff
90%
lost.
of the time, it's the eyes.
Yeah.
90% of the time, it's the eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big part. Or the hands, even.
I thought about that maybe one time, like just drawing just the faces and the eyes and letting the inker take the rest,
Well, didn't Sal had a light? Well, maybe he didn't at that time. I don't know, but wasn't Sal was a pretty good inker? Didn't he have more of a light touch?
He's an amazing inker. I mean, I bar none. His lines were just beautiful. The control in them were beautiful. And you could see it in his own work. And if you ever saw his pencils, how just loose and controlled they were, and then how he would ink over them, they were a thing of beauty. And I found myself, which part of the reason I started growing listless about it was because I found myself tailoring my pencils to his inks and other people's inks.
Mm.
You want to get murdered. So I started drawing like Sal.
Yeah.
And so
I've done that.
It looked so much like Sal that, ultimately,
Yeah.
He took it personally. Like he kind of gave me a little bit of shit about it at a convention. I said, Sal, he goes, well, if you liked me so much, then why did you move on? And I'm like, Sal, one has nothing to do with the other. He said, I love your work, but ultimately as an artist, I want to do my own, and he just couldn't wrap his head around it because he grew up in the day when he was inking his brother and things like that, and they all had inkers, but Sal inked his own work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why he was so, kind of uptight about that. Because
do you think maybe he was looking at it like you were a regular gig that he might be losing? Maybe.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Was it? I'm trying to remember. Maybe that was it. But I didn't get him fired or anything. I don't know how it happened. I didn't ask for somebody else. I just basically said I wanted to move on, and I had worked with Dan Green quite a bit. I love Dan Green's work too, and he ended up inking some of it. And I don't remember how it all played out, but I never went behind Sal's back and had to get him fired or anything.
Well, inkers do take that personally when he thinks like I finally latched onto a penciler, and then when you say you want to move on, it's like being a jilted girlfriend. You're like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh, I get it. I get it. There's some guys. I worked with one guy who, it was right before I went on cap, who told Ralph Macchio that we wanted to work together. And I said to him, I had met him at DC, this inker. We're just talking. He came from the Kubert school, and I said, and he's like, yeah, we should work together on something someday. I'm like, yeah, sure, So then right after that, I got the offer to do Captain America, and I was like, yes. And he's like, you know, so then Ralph calls me up and said, oh, so and so is going to ink the book. I'm like, what? Wait, what? He goes, he told me you guys wanted to work together, so I hired him. I'm like, so he just went and jumped on Cap, you know, without even talking to me because of that passing conversation, you know.
Can I guess who it was?
That takes huevos to do that.
Yeah, well, I you know, that one I did complain about.
And I
We all
apologize.
know who it was.
That's how pencilers blow off, you know, inkers at shows. As they say, well, yeah, maybe one day we can work together.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was inking Adam Kubert at the time, and it looked good, and I liked it, you know. But you know, you can never tell unless it's on you.
Right. Oh yeah.
You when you can tell, you know, because that's when it jumps out at you, all the things that, you know, you either like or can't stand, you know. And it just, you know, as soon as I saw it on me, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because me as like a reader of that book, I thought it looked fine, you know, but I wasn't looking at the, you know, the nuances that you were looking at. You know, I didn't see the pencils, right? So I was just seeing the finished product. And you have such a strong sense of your figure work that it's really hard to totally mess you up because the drawing is still there.
I agree to a point. It's easy to mess me up, actually. If you look at my
well, from your standpoint, what you expect, but I'm just saying from a fan standpoint that hasn't seen the pencils and they're like, oh yeah, this looks good, but they don't know what it looks like otherwise because they haven't seen the pencils.
Right.
From your standpoint, though, it's a totally different thing.
Right. Well, I've had guys ink me that, you know, just, it usually depends on how much of an art background they have or how good they are at penciling themselves, or, because usually the best guys on me were the guys who could draw
Yes.
themselves. And the guys who didn't, it just was not good at all because they didn't understand form the right way or structure or give it weight or, you know, things like that. And so a lot of times what happened, they would ink it, and they were also trying to ape. It was like a fourth generation Scott Williams thing, that monstrosity.
Back sixth, seventh generation.
Yeah, back in the early 90s. And it really revealed itself, you know, and it would look like, you know, they would ink it and it looked like if you touched it, the whole thing would just go like crystal.
Is there any particular inker? I mean, I know you like inking yourself, but is there anybody that you look at and say, that guy I trust, or that guy?
Yeah, I mean, there were plenty of guys I loved working with. I worked with Al Williamson. He was amazing. You know, he was getting older, but you know, when you have guys on you who don't know what they're doing, you know, and then go to people who do, it's like you just sit back and you take a sigh of relief, you know, because you know, like it didn't matter. Like Al Williamson was vastly different than Dan Green, who was vastly different than Sal, even. You know, but they all knew what they were doing, you know. And Tom, they knew what they were doing. It's just with those guys, they had such strong styles that, like Sal and Tom, and they felt the need to stay out from underneath that.
Aaron, is this part of your strategy to pepper Ron with questions so he doesn't finish?
Yeah, I'm going to get to Graham in a minute. So
I'll be done by then.
Your guys' work looks great so far. What I can see. How are you guys filming it over your shoulders?
Extra camera.
I don't have that because I'm a loser.
Well, I only have one
Ron,
camera.
I'm using my iPhone.
Oh, are you?
I only have one camera and I never show my face. So
how do you do it on the iPhone?
Well, I have a long iPhone cord, and when you saw me first on the show, I had it just here on the tripod. Then I turn off my camera, drag it over here, and hook it up onto this arm I have. And I use a software called Camo. It goes both on your phone and your computer, and it has some nice features to it. So it's pretty cool.
I'll check that out. You'd think by now, at this long in the business, I would have something like that, but I don't.
Yeah.
Well, just hold up the artwork every once in a while, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
I'm holding up my phone, and at one of my conventions, and I just hold it while I'm drawing. And it's a lot of times my hand veers off the thing while I'm working on it, so it doesn't work so great. But those Daredevils look great.
Graham.
Yo.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this before, but I am curious. You're a big fan of newspaper strips, obviously.
Yeah.
Was that like adventure strips, like Roy Crane and guys like that? Is that something you fell into later, or is it something you discovered as a kid?
No, I fell into it later.
Excuse me, that's the Scam Likely phone call. I get about 5 of those a day.
Oh, yeah.
What's amazing is I forgot I need glasses. I'm sitting here with blurry eyes trying to do this.
Yeah, it's like, goes, why isn't this drawing?
Why can't I see it?
I'm struggling to see it.
It's all part of the plan.
Part of the plan to bring me down.
Yep. Well,
I discovered a lot of strip artists when I was at the Kubert School. But then later on, there was a publisher out of Canada that was publishing.
What were their names? Her names?
What's that?
You said a lot of strip artists.
not a stripper, Dan. A stripper.
Okay.
Their names were Bill, Bob, George.
Yeah.
That was one of those kind of clubs. Okay.
Frank.
Right.
Canadian Ballet.
Gary.
All right. So anyway, Graham.
Sorry, Graham.
Aaron.
You.
He did the whistle thing or the harmonica.
I know, but I didn't want to interrupt Graham. But Dan went ahead and did it anyway. So.
Screwed up.
Sequential artist for $5. Thank you, Sequential. He says something's cooking in HK. Lawlessness for the win. I sent you a reply. Okay, is that English that anybody understands?
Nope.
I sent him an email earlier about the original artwork I just showed you guys. So
okay.
He's the guy getting the 2 pieces of art.
So anyway, Graham, you said you discovered newspaper strips at the Kubert School. Is that what I got? Or
Yeah. Because Joe used to have a whole bunch of them up, and he was a disciple of the strip artists,
Mm-hmm.
Particularly like Hal Foster and Alex Raymond and all that kind of stuff.
I love those guys, man.
Yeah, I like them fine, but it was the Kniff, Sickles, Robbins school that I really liked.
Well, they're all kind of in that, wheelhouse, but the Hal Foster's.
Hal Foster's illustration, I like the guys that cartooned.
I'm a big Hal Foster fan as well.
Were they, Ron, did you go to the Kubert School?
No, as much as I thinks I did. I've actually been listed as an alumnus in certain.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like,
oh, that's funny.
Because they're thinking of Ron Wagner.
Oh yeah, Ron was a classmate of mine.
Yeah, I used to think you were Ron Wagner too. So,
So we stood next to each other.
Yeah. So, did they actually, was that part of the instruction? The curriculum was newspaper strips at all? Did they do that at the Kubert School, Graham, or is that they were beyond that?
No, they didn't do any of that. It was just, admiring the artwork, that they would have up there. Like he had originals too. Joe had some of these originals that he had statted, and he hung the stats, but the stats were from original artwork, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
But, when I discovered Roy Crane, that was the big one. I mean, God, I love that guy's work.
Isn't it great when you discover different people and you just kind of look at it and you get so blown away that, that you just think, man, how come I can't evolve into that,
Right.
It's like, where my growth got stunted.
The one that gets me with that every time I look at his work is Sergio Topi.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so mind-bogglingly great, It's just a different level, just another
Sorry, sequential artist for $5. He says, a question for Graham. He says, what was your inspiration for creating Bane? Any takes on how he's been handled in the films and in the Tom King run of Batman?
I'm not getting into that and getting into trouble.
Graham's got takes.
I'm not taking that bait. I learned my lesson.
Oh yeah, didn't you get bombarded or something on
Oh yeah, 2.5 million views.
Holy shit.
Wow, that's one way to grow your presence.
Isn't it too bad that 2.5 million people don't buy comics?
Well, that was one of my responses to all the slag I was getting.
You can't even deal with it.
It's like you guys don't even know who Bane is.
Yeah.
Org collective of the internet.
Dan, Rand wants to know what does the app that you mentioned before? The Camo.
Camo. C-A-M-O.
Camo, like camouflage.
Like camo toe.
Yeah.
Or decotage.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So, but Graham, was there on the first half of that question though is non-controversial. So, what did you have any sort of specific inspiration for creating the look of Bane?
Mexican luchador.
Why?
Because his origin was going to be he was being raised in this like Banana Republic prison. And I thought that if he was going to be exposed to any kind of costuming, it would be possibly Mexican luchador. So that was my starting point.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Do you at any time feel, I mean, obviously you co-created the character with Chuck, but do you get personally either offended or pleased by certain interpretations of it, or do you just go, yeah, it is what it is?
Yeah, I don't own it. DC can do what they want with it, you know. So, I mean, some stuff I like, some stuff I don't like, but it doesn't matter what I think.
Graham's favorite interpretation was the sketch I did in a sketchbook of Bane. Bar none.
I know. I had my sketchbook ready to hand you until I saw what you did in Graham's book. I said, oh, wait a minute, I got kids at home. I can't let Ron draw on my book.
Oh, yeah. Ron's not wrong about that.
Oh, hang on a second here. Billy Tucci's in the audience. He says,
Look at
this, $5. Capital Show, homos. Very entertaining and keep up the good work. Wow.
Aaron, that chat is directed at you.
Oh, was that directly at me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I thought that maybe was directed at Graham, but if it's directed at me, then I've only got one proper response. That's for you, Billy. Thank you, though. Appreciate the $5. Doc Brewski says, I knew the damn guest was going to be Ron.
How'd you know that, Doc?
Yeah, there's always someone that
after the fact
but they don't say anything
because he knows we only got a few friends, you know.
There's only a couple.
A very short list is what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, we get turned down a lot. You'd be well, maybe you wouldn't be surprised.
Why would you get turned down a lot?
Nobody wants to come on here and draw.
Why?
Or they don't want to associate with a bunch of conservatives. So
well, you can't bring fucking politics into this. This is so stupid.
I know. We don't talk politics here.
It's so dumb.
We talk art and women. And
man, I know not to talk.
Ron, don't get
every freaking day I go on Facebook. I'm like, I don't even go on Facebook anymore because I can't even get through like 2 posts without it being just
I shouldn't have said anything. Ron's going to get riled up.
No.
Yeah, and I got to deal with him on the next show.
I know. Well, I'm going to be there too. You know, at least you have to host, though. I can just sit back and needle him and not have any responsibility.
I'm done, by the way.
Shit.
Okay, you know, Graham.
Did you?
First of all, you started early.
Nice.
Oh man!
All right,
look
let
at
me see. Okay, hang on a second. Let me blow you up. Don't get excited here. Ooh, that is nice.
Very nice.
Wow.
Great.
Hang on.
Love it.
Okay. Well, now you got time.
Hey, where's his arm? Just kidding.
Yeah, what happened
Same
there?
place. It's in the same place as the back of his head.
Okay. Well, now that just gives you plenty of time to do another one, Graham.
Well, yeah, the
Wait a
eye
minute, I'll
fills
go-
in the
I'll
artwork.
pull
You
off
really
the
push the
page that
limits
I was
on that.
working on.
Oh, okay.
Before I came on the show.
Wait, we
Oh,
don't
wow.
want none
Hey,
of
blow
that
that up.
modern
Blow that up.
art, you know.
There you go.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, look at that last panel there. That's great.
That's
Yeah,
Wow,
it's having
that's
fun inking
that's the ultimate pimp hand, right?
So this is obviously from Escape from Monster Island.
Yep.
Which is, let's take a moment here and plug Graham's campaign, since he was so kind to come on here and do a drawing faster than
A speeding bullet.
let's be. Yeah, there he was looking for the right. Okay, here we go.
I guess I'll draw Superman next.
Yeah, I get. Hey, it's always good for the next auction. Graham, tell us about your campaign. Why don't you?
Yeah. Is that the has that been refreshed? Is that the right number?
I don't know. I just brought. No, it's been up. I brought it up this morning. Let me.
Oh,
refresh.
okay. No, it might be right.
There you go. No, it's got a few more on there. There you
Okay. Escape from Monster Island is the final part of my Monster Island trilogy. It was my love letter to Jack Kirby Monster Comics and Roy Crane adventure strips. And I originally wrote and created the idea for this when my daughters were young, because I didn't like the direction comics were going. Little did I know that it was going to go in such a worse direction. So I wanted to create an all ages comic without the pejorative aspect of that term. In other words, I looked at the times when everybody read the comic strips, back in the 30s and 40s. You could have been, a millionaire industrialist or a, an iron worker. They all read the comics. So that was a true all ages comic. And so that's what I wanted to do. Not talk down to kids, but make it fun and adventurous that my kids could read and my friends could read and enjoy it on different levels, because there's satire and whimsy in it and other things that adults will get that might go over the kids' heads. So that was the genesis of it. Started back in 1998, trying to get it finished. But then I got into crowdfunding and had the time to do it now. So this is the final act of our. I must have hit my my Apple Watch or something. Anyway, this is just pure fun, high adventure. There's high stakes in it too. Our characters are off Monster Island. They're on this planetoid because the island's been hijacked by these space hippies that were in the last issue.
Space hippies.
Yeah. And so they basically, it was a satire against PETA, because these guys, they came on Monster Island and they didn't want the gentle creatures to be, captured and all that kind of stuff. So they tried to take over the island, and then they sabotaged it, and it screwed up their propulsion system. And so they got to get this rare element from this planetoid. Well, they go to this planetoid, and deep down in there is this race of sort of like trolls. Basically, they mine, but they're itinerant gamblers, and so they get space, people looking for their minerals, and then they capture them, and then they put them into Coliseum style fights and bet on them for who will live and who will die. And so Mac and Duke are there, and they're stuck, and they're trying to survive in this Coliseum death match with monsters and aliens and stuff like that, and get back to Monster Island and eventually get back to Earth. So
this sounds like a groovy, fun comic, just like you intended. This is awesome.
Graham, who colored that?
The interiors are done by Greg Wright.
Greg Wright. I remember him in Marvel when I was trying to break in. He was an editor there.
Yeah, Yeah, Greg's a great guy. We're very simpatico in color theory, and the kind of stuff I'm looking for in the work. And he's colored a bunch of stuff. I almost use him exclusively, actually. He did Joe Frankenstein. He did Alien Alamo. And
you know what? Now that you mentioned, I can see it. I never knew that, but I can see it in the work now that you mentioned, because I know Greg's work really well, and it has a certain look to it. Did he? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask: is he coloring full time? Is he just like doing other things and helping you out with your projects?
Well, I think full time he's a teacher, and then he does this, in the evenings or on the side.
Keep his hand in the game, so to speak.
So to speak. Yeah.
Make money.
That too.
Well, yeah, extra money, that never hurts. It's a little bit like a double fizz bin, except on Tuesdays.
And Tuesdays. Oh, look.
The what? Oh, okay. So there it is, folks. That is Graham Nolan's Escape from Monster Island. It is live on Indiegogo right now. You'll find a link in the description of this video. So please go there, check it out, back it. It looks like good, clean fun for the whole family, and you don't want to miss out on the final chapter of the Monster Island saga.
And if you don't have the other two, there's a package, basically an ultimate package where you can get Monster Island, Return to Monster Island, and Escape from Monster Island, and get completely caught up. So,
see, that's the thing. Graham is always pushing his package. Did you notice that? He's always on about it.
Yeah, you gotta push
for that, Aaron.
I'm just.
You can't say nothing.
I'm taking a cue from David. That's all. If David can say it, I can say it.
Blame it on me.
The package I saw of Graham's was really small.
Well, I'm Irish. What can I say?
Okay, I'm gonna change this up.
He's been going for a long time though.
Gary's like, let's change this up.
Very generous.
Stealth X5 for $2 sends us grapes, a mushroom. That doesn't look like the kind of mushroom you'd eat though. Pancakes, pizza, spaghetti, a chocolate bar, fresh pie, topping it off with, is that a beer or a root beer? I don't know which.
It's
but
all carbs.
I know. Stealth is always making us hungry before the show's over. And Leg Kick. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here. He says for $5. Hello, guys and Aaron. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that Katie did this job?
No. Where's Katie did? I expect
There might be a couple more.
Koran Zenith, all the way Australian, $50.
Wow.
If you've ever seen the Australian money, it's like Monopoly money. It looks like fake money. It has like little plastic windows in it. It's very brightly colored. Holy Hand Strength. It's
Don't
the
insult their
Graybeard.
money.
Huh?
Don't insult their money. They're giving us
No,
money.
hey, I'll spends like anybody else's.
Yeah.
Good day from Oz to all you legends. What a great panel. I was looking forward to another win from you on Kings, Aaron. Eric killed it. You've got competition now. Blessings to all of you bloody, brilliant blokes. Thank you very much, Koran Zenith, all the way from Australia. He's on the other side of the world.
Don't fall off.
Your time.
Thank you, dude.
Mucky says that's Canadian money, Aaron. No, Canadian money doesn't have those plastic windows in it.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
You still have one more, Aaron.
Do I?
Yep.
Do I?
I always wonder what the Australians.
I think the new Canadian money does. I could be wrong though.
I always wonder when you go to Australia, do they have, we have our globes and we're sort of on top. Are their globes are reversed? Are they on top and we're on the bottom?
I guess it's all perspective, isn't it? Wait, what are you getting at, Dan?
I'm just curious if they're going to just take that line down. And I think if I was in Australia, I'd flip them globes over and say we're on top.
Okay. Sequential artist.
Okay, Dan.
Well,
for $5, you're off the show.
Right? You want to be on the bottom?
For $5, he says today's show is brought to you by the letter R because without it, we'd be watching GRAYBEARD'S Studio.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Here we go.
Let's continue drawing our muscle men now.
I don't even know where to begin with this crap. doesn't even seem like that's enough. Let me see what else I've got here. Oh, here we go. There,
There we go.
At least I
Heads
feel
up, heads up, Aaron. Katie's in the chat and she's saying hello to everybody but you.
Damn.
Katie, after all I do for you, this is the thanks I get. No, she just says, "Hail, y'all."
Okay.
Hail, y'all.
I thought you were
From,
getting better in her eyes.
She's from the South. I don't know how far south she is. Oh.
I am going to take this moment to thank some thoughtful person in the chat. I will not say his name, but he sent me some swag. I want to share it. Could you pull up my screen, please, Mr.
Are you sharing something? You know, you just want me to make you...
I just want to hold it up to the camera.
I don't. Oh, okay. Okay. There you are.
3 items. 1.
A corn dog. Get it?
Pretty cool.
That is. I like that.
Okay. Item 2.
Oh my
Captain Corn Dog and Baron Von Broccoli.
Wait a minute. What is that? That is old. What is that from? Do we have any
I
sort
don't
of...
know, but it is old. There should be a date on here somewhere. From 2008.
Well, it looks older than that, but...
And a signed, hold on a second, Bruce Lee comic book.
Okay, well, there you
and another one signed by Shannon Lee.
Not to be confused with Bruce Lee. Now, who's Shannon Lee? Is that like
his daughter?
Oh, his daughter. Okay.
Yeah. So outstanding swag. That's cool cover there. Look at that. That's awesome.
That is great. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. So thank you. I love free stuff.
All right. Stealth X5 for $10. He has nothing to say, but he's just giving us $10. And you know what? I'll take that every day, Stealth. Thank you.
Yeah, money talks.
Yep. Okay. You know, when Plug was drawing Ghost Rider, was there any like chains involved? I don't think there was. When Plug was drawing Ghost Rider, what did I say? Man Thing? when Plug was drawing Ghost Rider,
did he draw chains?
Yeah, was there any chains?
Yeah, was he chained to the table?
Okay, I mean the way you put it, were there any chains involved? Like what?
Okay, well,
Marvel's a pretty harsh place to work sometimes.
Yeah. So Ron was drawing Ghost Rider pain in the butt.
Only when there was chains involved.
Oh man!
Wow!
A wink, a wink.
Oh. All right. No, it's like I would.
Henry Jeremick says Plug, no chains.
Okay. Like I drew, Ms. Marvel for a couple of years, and there was one issue or 2 issues where Iron Man guest starred, and it was that new Iron Man armor. It wasn't the Gene Colan stuff.
The red one, the red and white one.
No, the one that the Russian artist. What the heck's his name?
Adi Granov.
Yeah, Adi Granov. The one they basically based the movie armor on.
Gotcha.
And it was like drawn that even for a couple of pages. I was like, I couldn't imagine having to draw like an Iron Man book.
Oh yeah.
And for the first time recently, he's a really funny guy.
Who's that?
Adi Granov.
Oh.
He should get a royalty when every time they do that stupid superhero pose where they land with their head down and their knee down and their fist down on the ground. He should get a royalty every time.
Isn't there a name for that? Actually, I forgot what it.
It doesn't send chills down our spine like they think it does.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
In half the time it's idiotic. I mean, it's okay when they did it in the first Iron Man movie. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. The guy's in armor. when Black Widow does it and her head is down, I want to kick her in the head before she can look up. You know, if I was fighting her, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
I'm not going to wait for the pose to be over.
Yeah, kick a field goal.
you're
Well,
done.
didn't her replacement tell her, "You're such a poser," after she did that?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
totally did.
So they made fun of it. Yeah.
Good.
But now I think they're doing it too, though. Now, so
Yeah, but yeah, it didn't stop them. They're still doing it.
Yeah,
Did any of you go and see the Thunderbolts?
No, I've
Not yet.
the reviews I watched, like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, just ripped it apart. So sometimes I trust their opinions because they're
But they hate everything.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, chasing the algorithm.
They hate everything.
David, have you seen it?
Yep,
and
I didn't hate it.
That's
I
not
just said I
exactly
didn't
an
hate it. It wasn't like it wasn't mind blowing, but it was entertaining, and that's what movies are supposed to be.
endorsement.
Well, if David says he didn't hate a superhero movie, that means it's pretty good. David's standards are.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of in this area right now where just nobody cares, and it's going to be really, really hard to get that enthusiasm back that they had the first time around.
Yeah. Well, it's superhero
100%.
fatigue, you know. It's like,
Well, you know what changed is they stopped caring what the fans think. Like when they made the first Captain America, it was very true to the book, and same with Thor and everything else. It was so entertaining. But like with Fantastic Four that's coming out, you know, they have the Silver Surfer. You know, they always use the excuse that it's you know, a different timeline or different alternate universe. But it's like that's not the universe we grew up reading.
That was an EI decision too. I mean, come on.
And so, you know, you're not kidding anyone. It's just it's hard to watch. But I'll give it a shot. Obviously, I always give it a chance.
Well,
Yeah,
I
some
really want to
elements
see.
in-
I want to see Galactus. That's what I want to see.
yeah, there's some elements that look like they're going to look good,
Yeah.
but
What do you think of the Thing's voice?
I don't like the
horrible.
Thing's voice. I think they blew it. I don't
It
understand.
looks like this. Yeah, this
I
makes meatballs. Okay, yeah, all right. That's not the Thing's voice.
Yeah, I know. I don't really understand what they're doing there, but
They're
I
trying-
do kind of like that sort of Incredibles retro thing they got going on. I think it's
that's just cool, man.
I like that, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the casting at this point, but you know, give them a chance to make it their own. But
I can't stand Pedro Pascal.
I-
So,
You and me both. I agree with
Well, that
you
was the
100%.
worst casting of all there. I mean,
Yeah.
Reed Richards looks like, you know, I don't know, well, total white guy. I mean, what else can you say, you know? So, you know, you're Norwegian looking face, and all of a sudden, what's this guy?
he's getting all those roles because he's an activist for the most part.
that, and he probably has pictures of an executive with a sheep.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, there is that.
And since they're Hollywood, there's probably more than one.
Yeah.
10 million.
I was going to say, that's probably a requirement to get a job there.
What were you saying, Ron?
I said there had to have been 10 million choices that could have played Reed Richards aside from him.
How about John Krasinski? Who
I
they,
know.
The point is out of all the choices they could have used, why him? There's got to be a reason. It's not because he's so reliable. There's a million other actors who would have played that role, like John Krasinski, I guess, but they kind of ruined it with him and that stupid Scarlet Witch thing. But, you know, that would have just been just as professional, just as on time, just as much of a draw. But why? So why him? The only conclusion you come to is because of what he represents in, you know, in that community, because he did The Last of Us or The Two of Us or whatever it is.
The last two of us.
Or whatever. It's all about that agenda. So
Well, I agree.
You know who would have been great is Chris Pine. He looks just like him, you know.
Yeah, actually, you know, it's funny. I said the same thing to my son the other day. I said Chris Pine might have been a good choice.
The thing with Chris Pine is, though, he's like so young looking, and he's not even that young anymore, and he still looks young to me.
He's getting older looking. I saw him recently. He was definitely a certain age. Not a bad way, just getting older. Who would you guys have liked to have seen other than Pedro Pascal? And
Well, I'll say this about the Invisible Girl, or whatever they call her, woman. I don't think she's that attractive. I think she's okay, but I don't like Sue Richards as like blonde bimbo. I don't think that's so. I'm actually okay with her casting. What I have a problem with, from what I'm gathering from the trailer, is that she seems like she's calling all the shots. At least that's how they cut it.
well, they said that. They came out and said that. They said
Did they?
it's a woman's movie.
Oh,
Right.
They should have got since they fired the original guy from the Hulk. What was Edward Norton?
Yeah.
He could have been Reed Richards.
Actually, he could have. I could see that.
He looks smarter than
That's right. Pedro Pascal does not look smart. Oh.
He does not look smart. Did you see the thing where he's on stage with her at some award?
Yeah.
And he touches her arm and she reaches back to take his hand. And all the speculation was that he's really insecure and sheepish and gets scared on stage. And all
Yeah,
that.
I saw those excuses.
A bunch of horseshit that is. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
To be an actor like that, and in all these major movies, and be this sheepish little guy who can't stand on stage in front of people.
The Vespa guy for $10. Thank you, Vespa. He says nothing witty to say, just interrupting Aaron from his work. Thank you so much.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Corin Zenith, all the way from Australia, for $2. They never gave Malin any credit. For what?
Who's they?
Yeah, who's they, and what credit should John have gotten that he hasn't gotten? Don't confuse us. Just because you're giving us money doesn't mean you can say confusing things to us.
Yes, it does.
We
We're
need
blinded.
clarity.
But,
You can say all the
We
confusing
want
stuff in the world.
clarity.
there's a couple more.
Oh my gosh. Are you sure?
Yep.
What did I miss? Oh, here we go. Okay, Corin Zenith, Australian, for $10. Thank you, man. He says, yeah, our money is quite colorful, just like my head at the moment after finishing my last night shift this morning. It's all worth it, though. I get to finish it off with watching you guys. And see, that's the kind of love and respect that I want from the chat. Thank you for that.
So we finished
Money
people
and a
off.
compliment.
That's right. Make me feel good about myself. That's what I need. Sequential. I'm like Pedro Pascal. I'm insecure. I need people to make me feel good about myself. Sequential artist for 10. He says, question for Gary. He's still working on Graybeard's comic story, which includes Gary's prank battles with his daughter. Curious to know the best prank she ever pulled on you.
There aren't any because it's tough to prank a prankster. I always saw him coming.
You get her, though, quite a bit, it sounds like.
Yeah. No, she never. I always saw it coming, so she has yet to pull it off.
Well,
Someday.
Gary.
That's true.
Someday.
Hopefully she's not watching the show and is inspired.
The student becomes the master.
When you're old and you're at the top of a stairs, sitting in your wheelchair, she's just going to go like a Hitchcock on you and just roll you down the steps going, you think that's funny now, Dad?
Yep, exactly.
Go Richard Widmark on
How do
you.
you like
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Paul Taylor for Canadian $10. Now, Paul Taylor, of course, is our resident biologist. Let's see if he brings any science to the program. He says, hail panel and chat. Graham, what would be your ideal cast for the FF in a feature film? It's not exactly science, but we'll take it. Okay, Graham, you're the resident FF expert. What do you say to that?
People that I'm not really up on who's who in modern films. Old
Give us
movies.
all time. Give us your classics. Give us all time. Anybody's fair game.
Okay. I would use Gary Conway as Reed Richards.
Yes, I like it.
Just
Land
like
of the Lost, or not Land of the Lost, Land of the Giants.
Land of the Giants. Yep.
Yep.
I would use maybe Mike Mazurki as Ben Grimm, or let's see, who else would be a good Ben Grimm?
Mazurki. Mike Mazurki. Who is that?
Yeah, he was in Murder My Sweet. He played the big thug.
Okay.
Personally, I think the guy who played Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four movie where he wore the suit was good. But
Michael Chiklis.
yeah,
I thought he was good too. He just had a bad suit.
Yeah, they should have CGI'd him, but that was on him. He said he didn't want it CGI.
Yeah, he was also a huge Ben Grimm fan too. So I did like him in that role.
What do you think about Kim Novak for the Invisible Girl? Too sexy? Or
Yeah,
maybe
too sexified.
Okay. Not going to buy her as a scientist. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, Elizabeth Montgomery.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll go there.
Perfect.
Oh.
And for Johnny,
James Dean.
I thought of James Dean, but too angsty.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Chris Evans was a good Human Torch as well as a good Captain America.
He was great as
He was really good in that.
And when they did him in Deadpool Wolverine, it was great to see him back as him. Because he has the perfect sense of humor and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that playfulness,
Mm-hmm.
which he doesn't get to do too much in as Captain America, but
Right.
Aaron, Kaiser Stone is in the chat. Could you please read his comment?
Karan Kaiser Stone, of course, character designer and animation designer, friend of the show.
And frequent guest.
Frequent guest host, too. Where is
He's
he?
an artist.
What if Karan was really giving you guys money and not Quran? I'm not. I wouldn't do that. But it's just a what if story. Okay. Thank you for that. Well, we're not going to give you any money either, so it all kind of sort of evens out.
Yeah, it evens out.
Although we do expect you to show up on the show regularly without any
Right.
pay.
And like
wait,
it.
there is pay?
No, wait. Don't
no.
misunderstand what I said.
No, Graham, there's no.
Good night,
Just to
everybody.
be clear.
Karan Zenith again from Australia for 5 says Malin didn't get any credit for his Thunderbolts run at Marvel, but I think the only character he drew in his run that is in the movie is Bucky. Oh, I see. Well, you know what they told me, because they left me out of what was the one where they had Planet Hulk in it?
Ragnarok?
Yeah. I didn't get any screen credit for that. And I called them, complained, and they sent me money, but I still didn't get any screen credit.
For what character?
Well, I drew half of Planet Hulk.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ron. Yeah, I don't read your stuff either, Ron.
Read anything. That works.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know. But I was going to say is I did, I don't know why I didn't register, but when I did Scar, Son of the Hulk, I had to use that stuff for reference. And I just remember thinking how, looking at it, marveling at how amateurish it looked.
Well, I'd like to point out
that's actually the opposite of what I thought.
No. What's his face did most of the design work, because he did the first. Doggone it, what's his name? Artist that worked on I split with. He did the first 4 issues, so he did a lot of the design work, and so that was their excuse, saying, "Well, you didn't do like the design work." I go, "I designed a lot of stuff in that series." I go, "But yeah, he designed the world because he was the first. He was the first artist on it."
I don't know.
Aaron, which would you rather get, screen credit or a check?
Both.
I knew that was going to be your answer.
Well, Aaron, if it's any consolation, I did design and co-create Bane, and I didn't get any screen credit in The Dark Knight Rises. So
Didn't they? They didn't
Nope.
even. Are you kidding me?
no,
That's such bullshit, man. I
Oh,
don't
there you go,
Did
Aaron.
they credit Bob Kane?
understand why it's so difficult for them. Why they just have to
Right.
sit like that.
the Dog Wrangler got credit. The caterer got
Yeah,
credit.
the caterer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
Best
yeah.
boy got credit.
Yeah. The assistant director's driver got credit.
That's right.
Do you think that's because they're trying to avoid any legal stuff, like if they give you credit, that's like establishing ownership of the character or something like that? Or
The thing with DC versus Marvel is we have a contract, we have equity. DC had equity contracts,
yes,
and so all of that is done, is already written down legally. So we know, and they know that they own the character. They just have to pay us when they use it.
Which they have to do whether they give you credit or not.
Correct.
So, do you think they're just not giving you credit to be jerks?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you can't really say that because you don't know who they are.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like, I just think they just have a policy that I do think that most people, if you were to ask them at the company, do you think they deserve credit? They'd probably say yes, but because I forgot who said it. Maybe it was Gary, but that the legal ramifications, they just won't take chances. So I just think it's one of those things.
Or it could be a union thing too. Could be a union thing because everybody has to be unionized, and even the handlers and the like I said, the caterers and all that, they all belong to various unions.
Yeah, but they give credit to it's like they pick and choose what comic creators are going to give credit to because they do give credit.
They do. I mean, I'll tell you, well, like on the Daredevil TV show, I got credit in the special thanks. That's the way they kind of get away with it.
That's what I meant. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about was a special thanks. If you don't even mention in there, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. See, Aaron.
But I did get credit in the last Batman movie.
Really?
It's no
Yeah.
sense.
Because of the Penguin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because that sort of modernized penguin look, right? That you developed.
Yep, that and the Iceberg Lounge.
I also think.
Oh, you created that?
On tenure
Yeah.
on that book, or
What'd you say, Ron?
I said it might be also a thing because when they did Fantastic Four, they literally took the bit where a surfer kind of morphs through his board and looks underneath him. I kind of came up with that idea.
That's right. We were on Surfer.
Yeah, it was on Surfer, and
oh yeah, your surfer stuff is great, by the way.
it was my idea. I had him pull the board right out of his body. Like he didn't call it, he morphed it right into himself. And so when he did that, it was a bit of a take on that, I thought, that he just gelled right through it. But there were lots of moments in there, and I didn't get any credit on in the DVD when it came out. And that whole thing, they had my art in it, and they didn't give me credit on it.
Oh,
Well, when they did the Planet Hulk animated, they interviewed me. I'm on the special edition disc, and they gave me no credit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, it's yeah.
Hey, Aaron, I'm sending you some things.
And lately, I got credit in the last Venom movie, and I have no idea why, but it says special thanks to me on there.
See, that's what I don't get. I mean, like in that
Dude,
Thor movie, Jimmy Chung got credit, like a special thanks. I'm like, and I know Jimmy did Hulk covers and stuff, but I'm like, what does that got to do with Planet Hulk? I drew the book and I didn't get any credit. It's just like insane to me. But anyway, David, what
Aaron,
did you say?
some things to embarrass Ron with.
Uh-oh.
what?
All right. It's not like I got anything to draw right now, but that's fine. I'll go and look. And I heard your harmonica, Gary. I'll get to the super chat in just a moment.
wait, is that the signal, the harmonica?
Yeah. No, why? That's not embarrassing, is it?
I know.
You
I
trying
just wanted him
to
to look up.
embarrass me with?
No, it's just
Yeah,
some old Ron Garney art from when you were in grade
Yeah,
school.
'cause
No,
we're just gonna gloat over you. You know.
yeah. So you'd be like, you're embarrassed because we're going to be saying nice things about you.
Yeah.
He assumes. Well,
Really
we'll
rare.
see. We'll see. All right, hang on a second here. Oh, that's nice. I like that one. Oh, did I say that out loud? Darn it.
Yep.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Ron Garney. I'm going to bring it up in just a second. I got
Please
to download it.
Please don't do that.
No, it's too late.
Don't pull anything up.
He's
Just-
already pushed the button.
I don't want it to be about me or my art. Let's just have fun.
No. Are you really going to be offended if I bring up your artwork?
It's just, let's just don't need that focus on that. So, I mean, I'm not offended. Of course, I'm not going to be offended. I appreciate the compliment. It's very nice.
Well, you didn't show any new art at the beginning of the show, so we're going to show this old art just to, like I said, embarrass you.
This is classic Garney right here.
I know,
Show it, man.
A lot of times, though, you're going to show something that's going to suck.
No. Look at now. Did you inked your own covers on Cap? Didn't you? Did you ink this?
Not that one, no.
No.
That was not why I checked. But the pencils were really tight. So Bob was very good at staying true to the pencils, actually.
That's what I loved about your work so much is that the way you spot blacks is amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
I mean, it's okay.
Comes from years of living
Let's not get carried away. You know, it's all right.
That's how you know Aaron is intimidated.
Quit giving our guests credit when you should be complimenting me. Oh, this is a nice one. Gosh, Ron, I forgot about all the stuff you worked on. You like literally worked on everything at Marvel, just about, haven't you?
Pretty much a long career.
This was my favorite Spider-Man story. This was so cool.
I actually wrote that story.
Did you
Really?
And then they didn't give me credit for it. Not the whole thing.
Sure.
The one issue. The one issue where he kicks the shit out of him in prison. It's this issue. But
This was one of the best Spider-Man stories ever.
Yeah, I wrote to Axel, the editor. I gave him a full email, a long email telling him could I write and draw this story. And so they ended up slipping it in here as the last issue because they loved it so much, clearly. And they said Ron Garney and Jay Straczynski storytellers. And I said, I'd like to get credit for it at least, and it burns me up only because I didn't get writer's credit and I didn't get paid for it. And it was my whole idea to have him fight the Kingpin and kick the crap out of him in prison.
Did Straczynski actually rewrite the script, or did they actually use your script and he just got
No. He wrote the script for sure, but it was the whole thing was everything I wrote in my email, just not the dialogue, So I guess it's like storytellers, I guess, but it was
nice if they, giving you story credit instead of just
based on the concept by Ron Garney.
Position at Marvel.
That's nice. So who inked you on this?
That's
Bill
good.
Reinhold. Okay.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh,
Oh
Bill's
yeah,
great.
Reinhold is great.
He's another one who can draw his ass.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. I think I first saw him with Badger. First comics and stuff when I first discovered his work.
Yeah, he's an illustrator.
One more.
Let's see if I could get him on the show.
He might come on.
He might, yeah. Oh wow.
Nice.
Now, talk to me about this, man. You're doing all digital on this stuff,
No,
right?
that one I inked on paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now
I
I'm even more impressed.
I have it in my portfolio. I could show it to you. But
Oh.
yeah, that one I did. It was funny because it is based off a digital color sketch I did of Blind Spot and Daredevil because I was playing around with cover ideas and the angle was a little different than leaping over and stuff. And then they asked me if I would do Wolverine, this cover, and I was like, and I looked at that cover I was playing around. I'm like, yeah, I'll just use that one and just use Wolverine in place of it. And it worked out really well. Thank you.
I bet you got offers to buy this before you even finished it.
I've had offers on it, but I usually turn them down. You know, it's usually lower than what I'd ask because I like it.
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't sell stuff based on my own attachment to it.
Right, exactly. We were talking about that. I don't remember where. I don't know if it was on this show or one of the other ones, that a lot of times you set your prices based on what that particular piece of artwork means to you.
Yeah.
And how much you want to part with it or don't. Did you say you had the original handy?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. While he's looking, Aaron, could you do the super chats? There's at least 3.
Oh, you know what? It's not here. It's not it's in my car.
Bait and switch. Bait and switch.
Yep. Well, Graham, do you have something you can show us to make up for it now?
I'm almost done with my second drawing.
Oh, you piece of crap.
He's lapping us, man.
Oh, man. I'm never bringing you back on here again. Billy,
no, it looks exactly like the speed that it was done at.
There you go. See?
Billy, the reason I've never been out of work in 40 years.
Billy Tucci for $5 says no credit. Now this is getting depressing. And with this $5 super chat, we're now even money-wise, Aaron, and that's enough about it. No, it isn't, Billy, because YouTube takes 30%. So I'm really not getting the $5. So you still owe me. I'm kidding, of course, Billy. We love Billy.
Graham, honestly, for the speed you're doing, they're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know what you should do, Graham? You should like go to cons and do sketches. You ever thought of that?
What, going to cons?
Yeah, and doing sketches.
I do.
I know.
Ron, I'm still not sure that was a compliment, actually. Hey, for the speed you're doing it.
Oh, no, I don't mean it like that. I mean,
I know
that didn't come out right, but I'm a big fan. He knows that.
Unintelligent design from is that Liam? I don't know. Australian $20. Thank you. Formalities are not my thing, but I want to sincerely apologize if anything I said or did caused any frustration or discomfort. This is Liam. It was never my intention, and I have nothing but respect and appreciation for you all. Signed with much love, Liam. Nice. Thank you. I have no knowledge of anything, but
could you remind us what you might have done that would comfort or just put it out there, man.
Oh, sequential for 5. James, thank you. He says if Aaron wants to share some Garney art, he should show this one. I don't have a link for that. Doesn't work.
Wait, show the other ones I posted.
Dude, I just did.
You didn't show the other ones. There's 2 more.
Okay, all right.
Because I showed the black and white version of that.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. There's the Silver Surfer.
Look at that.
That's cool. That's an interesting design because that's how you know someone's like a better artist than you are, because I would never think to do that.
That's the one thing that makes you think he's a better artist.
Good, yeah. Well, no, I'm just pointing out a thing. I'm not saying Ron's better than me. That would be foolish to say that. But I'm just saying that for other artists looking at this, I'm serious. I would never think to do that, Ron, and that's really cool.
Guys, I'd like you to meet my beautiful wife, Aaron. Say hi.
Hello. How are you?
Hey.
Hi, Aaron.
Hello. Meet you.
Know where I'm looking.
That way. Come on in the camera.
Is he checking on you to make sure you're not goofing off?
That's right.
Wait a minute, hang on a second. Okay, get in there and smile again. Lean in there and smile. There she is. Hey.
Are you bringing him food?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Get that down in that kitchen.
I bring food.
Oh well.
Give me a massage right now.
Spambot for $5 sends a heart. But it's like not a love heart. It's like an actual heart, like ripped out of somebody's chest. So I don't know what we're supposed to.
Okay, that's creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to make of that. But
it's a heart, yeah.
Yeah, it's a heart, I guess.
It's a literal interpretation.
What do we? Okay. All right. I think I got everybody so far. I think we're caught up.
I think we are.
Grand Kaiser Stone says, tell Ron Garney to stop getting better. Some people out here are trying to catch up. Thanks. I'll take my confirmation off the air.
Man, looking at these sketches, I don't know what these are all phenomenal. I mean, look at that Ghost Rider. Look at that. Those Daredevils are amazing. Are you kidding me? Freaking great. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan, man.
Ron, you got any shows coming up?
God's up there laughing his sick fucking ass.
Ron, you got any shows coming up?
Yeah, the Garden State.
Oh, I'm going to that.
Graham, you're going to that, aren't you?
Yep.
Are you going to do the cigar thing?
Of course.
Mm.
Yeah,
Now,
Graham, I'm gonna email you about hotels and stuff. I don't know where you guys are doing that at. You know.
What hotel?
What hotel are you guys gonna stay at and do that? Cigar party?
It's in Parsippany.
It's up to the promoter. I have no idea where I'm staying, actually.
Yeah. I'll find out from the promoter what it is. I can't remember what the name of the hotel.
I told him it has to be 4-star Bellagio type
Or nothing.
or nothing.
They're not going to put you in a Motel 6, you don't think?
Remember the early days when that's where they would put us?
Oh,
Mhm.
I went to a show one time where the guy picks me up at the airport and he drops me off at this hotel where you have to put your money through a plastic drawer because the neighborhood was so bad.
Mm.
You kidding me?
Nope.
Oh,
It was
Hey,
horrible.
hey, Aaron.
yeah.
Kitty Maw says, "Hi, Aaron, Gary. I looked up melon heads folklore in
Yeah.
Ohio, Michigan, and Connecticut claim them. However, Pennsylvania claim to the 7 gates of hell."
Okay. Well, I guess I made a mistake there. You guys ever heard of the melon heads?
No.
There's allegedly these children were kidnapped, I don't know when, and held in this orphanage where they're doing medical experiments on them, and they got their heads really big, and they got revenge by killing the whoever ran the orphanage or whatever, and then they went out into the woods and became cannibals. So if you're ever in Connecticut, and where did Pitty Moss say?
Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, keep your eyes open for the melon heads. Just saying.
I never heard of that story.
Well, I'm here, Ron, to
Ron.
educate you. So, Graham,
Yo.
do you have any like cool old pages or Batman stuff laying around there you can share with us?
Probably. I got a whole
I know
drawer
you
back there.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, I know it might be real distracting to keep you from your drawing for like 30 seconds.
No,
Yeah,
I finished it.
you finished it.
I'll be right
From
back.
doing your third
grab us a
drawing.
Yeah,
We
backfire,
want to stop
Aaron.
you from doing your third drawing, Graham.
Okay, Aaron. While he's looking,
I thought I was fast, man. Sequential says, Aaron, check your email. All right. Thank you for the 2 again. Okay, we got about 20 minutes. No pressure, Ron.
I'll be done in 20 minutes.
Okay, I don't know if I will. Oh, he's got a Ghost Rider piece. I don't know if he owns this. James, do you own this, or is it just one you want us to share? Wait a second, Graham. I want to show this, and then we'll. All right, what do we got here? This is like, is this like Ghost Rider 2099 or something?
oh,
What is that?
man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, look at that.
See, that's how you do
You'd
a
see
double
these.
page spread right there.
Sheesh.
That was fun.
Who was your ink? Oh, Chris Ivy was your inker.
Yeah, Chris Ivy.
And that's kind of that image looking stuff you were talking about, right?
Well, yeah, I get. I mean, I'm not going to disparage anybody.
No, I didn't mean it negatively. I just meant.
Oh, it looks good. I mean, I just, but it is. It's, this looks very crystal-like. Like if you look at the
Right.
and stuff, like you touch it, which like glass or something. But
Hey, did you ever have Danny Mickey ink you on anything?
yes, actually.
Did you like it or no?
I liked it. I mean, again, it's just one of those things. He has his look, and
Right.
but yeah, I liked it.
All right, Graham. Let me show us some cool stuff.
All right. This is a page from Batman Annual.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wow.
nice. Look at that lighting effect on there.
So cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Really nice, Graham.
That was, I think, Mark Pennington inked that.
He's a good
Pennington.
anchor.
I know Pennington.
Oh, and we were talking about Tom Palmer. Here's a pinup that we did together.
Wow.
Oh, look at that dinosaur. Now, what was that for? Just was that story related or just kind of random?
It was story related because I had written, I had proposed this series of backup stories called Tales of the Trophy Room. And the first story I did was Dinosaur Island. And I put a modern spin on it. And then, so we had to do these pinups for this, this collection book. And so I decided I would do Dinosaur Island.
No, so that's how the dinosaur came to be in his Batcave story, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the
Now,
pencil for it.
Did you create that or was it a revisitation of an older story or an older concept?
It was I modernized the old Bill Finger story.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what the pencils looked like. And
I love that you're so orderly that you have, your pencils to go with it and all that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, Graham is nothing if he's not organized.
So, Graham, you're
organization and me are not two words that usually go together.
Did you know Tom Palmer was going to ink that when you were drawing it? Because I see that you're actually penciling in like contour lines, line weights.
I don't know if I did know that.
Can I see it again, Graham? I was moving my camera around and
Oh, sure.
The Palmer one.
Here we go. Did you want to see both of them or just the inks or?
Both.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's neat.
Yeah. Tom was a good guy. I
remember when I was first starting out in comics and I did that Shadow Masters and I was working for Carl Potts and he said, who do you want to ink your stuff? And I said, Tom Palmer. And he goes, oh, he'll just overpower all your work. And I said, yeah, that's the point.
That's okay. And then we talked about the Penguin. This is I think the second cover. What is this? 684. 683 was where we introduced the Penguin for the first time, the new Penguin. And so this is my.
Are you the one that put him in the white suit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I also gave him these things in the back. I saw these penguins that had like these feathers that stick up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I decided to put that aspect to him. I had envisioned him as like a Casper Gutman or a Ferrari. I was basing him on Sidney Greenstreet, as a gangster. And that he's still a little guy but has a lot of power. So he's always surrounded by hot chicks. And
what was the impotence for rethinking the Penguin? Did they just say we need to modernize him, or he's too silly? We want to make him more.
I thought he was too silly looking. So, and we had just finished the last of. We had ever since Nightfall, everything had been like one of these big crossover things, and so we finally got a point where Chuck and I could work on individual stories. And we wanted to revisit and do some of the classic villains, would say we didn't really have a lot of chance to do. And so we were at one of those Bat conferences and I suggested some ideas for the Penguin. And that's what came out of it.
Aaron, I wanted to point something out that
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this, but when Graham speaks, the chat stops. Because they're listening.
So what you're saying is they have respect for Graham, but not for me. I think that's what you're getting at.
Well,
just come out and say it, Gary.
This is a cool one, inked by Brian Stelfreeze.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Stelfreeze. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I like the design of this cover a lot.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely, very unusual.
Yeah.
very cool. Look at that.
I mean,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
I
coming down like that. I mean, it looks spidery,
Yeah. I think this might be the first appearance of Gearhead.
Oh, it's not Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were
I
you
think
were
it's kinda
still you
small.
were on Batman. What years were you on
Hard to
Batman?
92 through 90. Let's see, 98, something like that.
So you got at least some of the decent royalty years before everything died out, right?
Oh yeah, I was there for the Nightfall years. So
That's
So between you and Norm Brayfogle, who did more Batman?
for Nightfall.
No, just Batman in general.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure how long Norm was on.
well, he jumped off to do the Ultraverse stuff, and did
Well,
you
when
replace him, or were you guys working at the same time on different titles?
we were working the same time for a short period when I first got on it, but then they started up Shadow of the Bat. He and Alan Grant, so he got to do a #1 issue. So he and Alan moved over to Shadow of the Bat.
Did you get along with Norm?
I never met Norm.
Oh, okay.
I never met Norm. I was a huge
'Cause
fan of his artwork, though. I really loved his Batman work.
Because
Very
I
kinetic.
clashed with him online one time, and we just had this battle. It's
He
like-
was an interesting cat. He really
Yeah.
was.
He's
Rand
definitely
Harrington-
not of the same political persuasion as me.
Yeah. Well,
I
or
know
even but he was like, he would get into these weird philosophical type,
yeah.
and just like you go, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. You need to call Neil Adams. But Rand
Yeah.
Harrington for $20. Really great episode, fellas. Thank you, Rand. Appreciate it. Amanda B says, we learned a lot from show and tell in school. It was the best activity. I know we love it here. It's our staple.
There's one or two more.
Are there?
Yeah.
Sean Allen says $110 confirmed. I think you probably need a little bit more money to pry that from Graham's fingers.
How much?
$110.
So close.
Billy for 5 says John Cougar Melonhead, the pride of Seymour, Indiana. Now we're squared away, you cheap bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you say, Billy? You just say cheap bastard. Everyone knows who that's directed to.
I get a bum rap, man. I'm telling you. We got about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes here. So I think it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's What's Gary's Beef?
What's Gary's beef?
Oops, sorry about that. Hit
What
the wrong
was
button.
that?
But we get it. What's Gary's Beef?
What was that?
I don't know. So Gary, tell us.
Okay, my beef
you off this week?
today is public schools.
Oh, okay.
So I mentioned I had a little story a while ago about my grandson. His name is Tucker. And a little backstory for Tucker. He's at this point he was in 6th grade, and we were at a sandwich shop, and he didn't know what to get. And so I asked the sandwich maker to recommend something, and she recommended a sandwich, and that's the one he picked. And of course, I said, well, what if he doesn't like it? Do we get our money back? And she laughed. So after he ate his sandwich and we were about to leave, I said, hey, Tucker, go up to that girl and tell her that you want your money back because you didn't like the sandwich. And we're going out the door, and as he keeps walking out the door, and he yells out, that sandwich sucked.
Oh, jeez.
Tucker, that's not what I said.
Oh,
So
you're a bad influence, Gary.
Yeah, so that's the backstory on Tucker. Let me update you with what he's up to. Let's see, I need to pull up some a photograph here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Aaron, let me share this. Hold on a second. Bear with me, please. Share screen. Okay. Okay, Aaron.
Yes. What is
So,
that?
like David's son, Tucker has a 3D printer.
Okay.
And he found these designs to make these like little pea shooter guns that they shoot these little like BB sized plastic pellets.
Oh, like the
They're
old
real-
Star Trek
They're real
guns.
small, and he
Yeah.
mass produces these. You just squeeze it and it shoots out the little plastic pellet.
Okay.
He mass produced these and he brought them to school
Oh,
and was selling them. And he was turning, pretty good profit. And the school got wind of it. And, they applauded his ingenuity, but said, hey, you can't do this. And the rumor got out that Tucker was selling guns at school. So they suspended him. They suspended him, not for selling the gun, but for the rumor that he was selling guns. And I guess parents got wind of it, and it became this whole big thing. So my 13-year-old grandson is already an arms dealer.
Oh man.
Wow.
Well, it'll stick with him forever.
wow.
That's going to go on his permanent record.
Yep.
That's right. Suspended for trafficking weapons at school. That may give him some street cred, though.
That's true. Yeah, he has much higher respect from his peers.
Sequential Treasures, that's James for $5. He says, Aaron, check your email again. I sent you a Graham piece to show, and I own it and the Garney one, FYI. So he's sort of...
he's showing off.
Yeah, basically is what he's doing here. Let's see what he's got
Did you
here.
show the piece he did that I did?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Ron, one of my first assignments at Marvel was Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah.
And I got this guy. I didn't know who he was inking my stuff. Kevin Nolan.
Oh no kidding.
So I got these pages back, and from Carl Potts. I'm like, who is this? Like, oh my God. That was the case where he took my beginning drawings and made them into fantastic, and he colored it too.
Yeah, well, isn't that you find like you see an artist that you haven't seen before and they're out of this world, and you're like, where have I been? How come I don't know who this is?
He was one of the few guys that if anybody got the privilege of getting him to ink them, we were totally fine with it because of what they'd get back,
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Never. Go for it.
Yeah, Rudy Nebry.
He made it better. He made it way better.
Graham, what can you tell us about this page?
Oh, it's an early Nightfall page from, I think it looks like Tech 662, maybe?
Who is your inker on this?
Actually, it's the first. Yeah, I think that's like the first issue of Nightfall that I did. Yeah, it is 662. It is 662 because they're advertising 663. That was Scott Hanna who inked that.
Now, you know what I like about this page? I like that little last panel where it says like to be continued. It's got that little info down there.
Yeah.
Because this is all lettered on the page, right?
Yep.
David, I'm going to kill you, man.
I'm sorry.
Oh man, look at David's Daredevil.
I love that. I mean, it's a great page, but I do love that little Batman panel at the end with the to be continued in Batman 496.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. The be continued panel at the bottom, I'd put a little illustration in there. Marshall Rogers used to do that. And I always thought
that used to be a regular thing in DC books back in the day. The little so they would do those half pages. You remember that? They would the last page would be a half page, and they'd have an ad on the bottom half of the page, but it'd always be that the next issue kind of thing.
Marvel did that too, though. I mean,
I didn't think it was as obvious as DC. Now, was this in the script, or did you just make room to put that final panel in there?
I made room. It's not in the script.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just a little element I like to add.
That's a cool page, James. Thank you for sharing. All right, gentlemen, we got about Ron, can you wrap it up in 5?
I'm done.
Need a little more time.
I'm done, son.
Yeah, I could be done with 5.
Okay. I can give you 10.
I'll take 10.
Yeah, that's because Aaron needs 10.
That's right. I'm not done yet. But I promised Graham I'd get him out of here early. He's got a show to host, Ron. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, and I'm getting hungry.
Everybody wants to go home early. I would encourage everybody watching right now to please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. And also, there's all sorts of interesting things in the description of this video. You'll find links to my Wraith of God 3 Fear Hollow graphic novel, David Williams' Fearsome that he's doing with EVS, Gary Martin's Brush with Destiny, his inking or art book. There's a link in there for that. I put Silence Duguid in there, Dan, and I haven't changed it out to the, what was the other campaign that you were involved in?
7 Amens Till Sundown.
7 Amens Till Sundown. Check that out on Indiegogo as well. Of course, Graham has Escape from Monster Island.
Actually, I think it's Fund My Comic only. I don't know if it's on.
Okay. Well, what I'll do as soon as the show's over, I will add that in there. And so, yeah, there's a link for Graham Nolan's Escape from Monster Island campaign, and also Dan Lawless's instructional YouTube channel, which has tons of great videos on how to draw stuff in comics. It's great.
And how to not draw stuff too.
Yeah, well,
I do both.
What not to do.
Just as important.
Yeah. Ron, did you have anything you want to plug?
Nope.
Okay, excellent. I did put your Instagram. I did put your.
What food do you have sitting there waiting for you?
Yeah, tell us about your dinner, Ron.
I'm hungry already, man.
No, Ron's Instagram is in there. Follow him on Instagram because he posts.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Ron Garney Art.
Aaron, I think we missed a super chat.
We did what?
I think we missed a super chat.
Let's see here. Paul Taylor, Shepherd's Pie. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I mean, I know what Shepherd's Pie is.
Throwing food out.
Oh,
there.
Stealth X5 says, is there going to be an auction soon? Anything's possible, Stealth.
Yeah, maybe.
It's probably time for one.
Yeah.
And I think there may be another one from Daniel Russell. Am I correct?
I don't know, but I'm so close to being done, and you're like stalling me away from. There's
Super chats are important.
I guess money is important. Not to Ron Garney. Ron is above money. He's like one of those philosophical guys, you know. He's like not about the money. Sequential artist for 5. Thank you, sir. Looking back through the years, isn't Spawn just another version of the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider story? Was you trying to get us to cap on Todd McFarlane, the most powerful man in comics?
Are you asking everyone or somebody specifically?
Honestly, guys, I have never read Spawn. I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, neither have I. I've never read one either.
I've read it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it does involve sort of, dying and coming back or something.
I did do a pinup though for him. I was very grateful to get that. Bo Smith hooked me up.
I was
used to work for him.
Huh?
Bo used to work for him.
Yeah, Todd asked David to draw the book.
Yeah, before Greg Capullo, and I turned it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he wanted to ink me, and I was just like,
He's like,
Hey, can we show something online?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to show some of the
Bass.
No, this is Bass Reeves. I want people to not forget Bass Reeves.
Okay.
And,
I love that book.
Yeah, that's a great.
Go over and harass Mitch to put this book out. He only has a few more pages to color, and that's all he has to do to, put this book out. And, I want this to be a part of my legacy that I leave behind, that I worked on this book.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so good.
Man, you don't even need coloring. That holds up so well.
Look at that face.
Yeah.
He looks like Sal Buscema a little bit in spots.
Oh.
What the actual face does?
Just the style in general. A bit.
Oh, I see I can see what you're saying. Kind of a linear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
it's so well written too. Kevin Grievous wrote it.
Shamed them into publishing this book.
My hardcover, man. I ordered that
Yeah, me too.
I
I purposely didn't buy the comics, waited for the collection, and I backed the collection.
I think I
Now,
did.
is someone else coloring this?
Mitch is coloring the last issue,
Okay.
which has turned out so good from what I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, well,
you know,
he's a painter. I'm sure he can do it.
Oh
he
yeah,
really-
and both and Elizabeth's one of the best colorists in the business.
Yeah,
yeah. And
they're
so
very good.
it turned out really good. He just has to finish it and just a few more pages and it's done. You
Look
know.
at that with the rain, with the. That's such a great illustration right there.
Yeah, it's good.
So you guys are getting a sneak peek of what the last issue is. So
Oh, these look familiar, David.
yeah.
Yeah, there's so much energy. So every page. I'm looking forward to Fearsome too for the same reason.
Curious Potatoes says, "Wow, that's awesome." Katie did says she loves it. Of course, she never says that when I put my artwork up, just when David does. So, but that's all right.
You guys want to see some Fearsome? I'll show some Fearsome real quick.
Yeah,
Sure.
Here's some preview there.
Yeah, I saw that page. Yep. Great hospital scene. That's the thing about when you're doing, a good artist when the hospital scenes
Yeah.
are compelling and dramatic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, David. A hospital scene, and David utilizes a double page spread, and
Yes.
it looks
Yeah.
cool.
Look at that hand. It's great, man. This is so wild. This story sounds really crazy and creepy too. Like,
Yeah, the whole story that Ethan told me, I was just like, okay, I gotta draw this. So I feel like I'm doing Ghost Rider anyway, so I didn't draw Ghost Rider today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he is kind of that. Looks kind of like that, doesn't he?
Yep.
Ethan originally offered me Fearsome, but he said he wanted to ink it, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Man.
actually, I would like to see him ink you. That'd be pretty cool.
I want to see Gary ink Ethan on one of his books.
Yeah, there's a lot
Not the way Ethan draws. He just puts bare minimum pencil lines, and then he does 90% of
Well,
it.
I think he would pencil tight for you because the way you would ink, you would add that Brian Bolin like extra crispness that he would benefit from because he has a Brian Bolin type of look to his work.
Sure. Should work out well. Are you showing the whole book?
I did on the first issue because Ethan virtually did already, so I'm not going to show any more after this.
That's great.
Look at that one. Sheesh.
That's so cool. Look at that ghost. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That guy getting punched.
Busting off the page. Awesome.
It's just great dynamics, David.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
great
Like
dynamics.
dynamic
That's what
storytelling,
David
the
does really
lighting.
well. He makes up for his lack of drawing skill with like Kirby.
Look at that shot of the guy in the
Really-
car. See, that's another thing. The guy in the car, and it's like that tells you who to separate the men from the boys. The guys are
Yeah.
really good artists that can make
Yeah.
that scene cool.
Yep.
Yep.
And it looks effortless.
It does.
I learned it from watching you. And Aaron knows this stuff. Boom.
Yeah, you guys, if Wraith of God gets 100,000, you get this whole story. But if it doesn't, I can't pay David and I can't ask him to work for free. So
Wow.
just not trying to, pressure anybody.
Wait, is this one of his back end deals?
Exactly. Well, that's a front end deal. I'm not going to expect him to do any. I paid him for these pages, but I don't. It's not in the budget if we don't hit 100K. So
Yeah, that's
true,
a crime.
David? Did you
That's a
get paid
crime.
by Aaron?
what was that?
What
I
was
said, is that true, David? Did you get paid by Aaron?
that? Yes, I did.
Huh?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, David.
Aaron got a
David
little
got-
nervous there.
no, I
Yeah,
was like,
David's
wait a minute.
got
Make sure
a
you say that
40%
loud enough.
back-end
you
deal.
know? Make
Yeah,
sure
you guys
say
in the
that.
chat, man, if you haven't seen the Wraith of God Fear Hollow, you better check that out because you're gonna miss out. It's
Paul
really
Taylor
good.
says, I already backed it, Aaron. Well, Paul, back it again then.
Back it for
Back that
friends.
thing up.
You can buy these comics and send it to someone else that you want to get interested
Right.
in. Really appreciate that.
Okay, Gary, help me. This is an insult, I'm sure, but I'm trying to unwind it. It says David makes Aaron look like he is a young artist.
Well, how good were you when you were young?
That's what I thought he was getting at. That's what I thought he was getting at.
Yeah.
Eric says, don't tell me what to do. I'm just strongly encouraging. I'm not telling. All right. So, Ron, how are we doing there?
Almost done.
You feeling good?
All right, I guess. I don't know.
Feeling fine. Feeling
All
good.
right. Well, Graham's like looking at his watch going, Aaron, I got a show to do in less than an hour. Get me out of here.
I gotta eat.
All right. Okay. So let's do it. We'll start with me.
Ooh,
Go, my best.
Ooh, nice.
nice, man.
But you didn't draw the motorcycle.
You're darn right I didn't. There you go. A little Ghost Rider love. Someone had suggested that I do the Western Ghost Rider, but I thought, well,
That's cool, Aaron.
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
very, very dynamic.
Yeah, I love it. It's really great.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. All of you
Excellent.
gentlemen.
Is he pulling the chain or throwing the chain?
That's an excellent question. You have to read the story to find out, Gary.
Okay.
Cracking the whip.
Yep. All righty. And let's see what David's got for us. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Ouch.
See, I think you're more out
That's like
Gene
a finished
Colan,
drawing.
man.
That's not a sketch.
I know. He's like
I told you he would been working on it for 2 hours when he didn't get it turned on.
well, his whole purpose was to show you up, Graham. So you know he was going to bring it. I don't know what
Well,
again the vendetta is, but
He achieved it.
that's nice.
That
Nice
is
work,
really
David.
good. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, it is.
He's
Awesome. It's very-
definitely
very-
top 4.
Shoot, that hurts my crotch just looking at it.
It does have
Oh,
a,
control with the white out. is
yeah. But doesn't it have a Gene Colan feel? I mean, that the way he would draw it, like
Oh yeah,
That's
you're
who
right.
I was,
You're right.
when I was doing it, I was like, I got to put some Gene Colan in it.
yeah.
God, it's a great piece. That's really, really
That's
nice.
the one thing that I find really frustrating. All these clones and all these artists. There's no Gene Colan clones. It never really
Well,
was.
yeah, he's unique. That's
Yeah. You know what I like about this? I like the fact that David put in so much black so he didn't have to like draw anything else.
Okay. Okay, Aaron.
All right. That's brilliant, obviously. All right, Dan Lawless, show us what you've got.
Show us your stuff. That's
Now that is more Colan-esque. Got that big
The big feet.
nice.
step there.
Gene Colan feet, yeah. He is
Yeah,
ripped.
it's a little funky on the legs.
Yeah, this Daredevil
forgot
is
his tail.
ripped. As
Yeah,
Paul
I forgot his
Glacy would
tail.
say, he's filleted.
Looks great.
He's filleted.
Got his tail.
Yeah, that's what is.
Yeah, I know. I need a tail.
Low body fat.
Oh, gotcha.
Paul Taylor says, "Don't be jealous, Aaron. It's unbecoming." Well, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all right. Not bad. Not too shabby.
Doc
Wow.
Bruschi says, "You know what they say about superheroes with big feet?" Mhm.
Oh boy.
Nah,
All right.
Daredevil's
You know what
better.
I made sure to avoid though is when you're doing a pose like this, you can't have those shaft things in the air. You know,
Oh yeah.
What?
you gotta position those legs just right so it's not because it happens more often than you think. We are drawing a
Yeah.
pose and like, oh no.
Yeah.
Deb Koth Schnelly says, "You forgot the tail, Dan.
I know.
You
I always
forget
do.
the tail." That's excellent. Thank you, Dan. Graham Nolan is not going to show us one, but he's going to show us two.
All right.
Oh
Well,
my gosh,
Daredevil.
you lapped us, man.
Yeah, it's just a big.
Daredevil one.
That is, I love that piece. That's
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, that's great.
negative space. Great.
It's very Tim Sale like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. didn't think about that. All right.
Is that not a compliment to you?
I guess. I mean,
I guess.
Way to go, Ron.
yeah. Thanks, Ron.
I guess.
I can't win.
This is real
There
convention.
you go.
Oh, come on. You didn't draw that just now.
Yeah, I did.
That's
Graham.
awesome.
Okay. Gary, mark Graham
Check
off the
that.
list. He
Man,
can't come on the
fast.
show anymore.
Okay.
Dang.
Oh, nice work.
I'm gonna
Graham.
write Graham's
Thanks,
name
guys.
down and then I'm gonna cross it out.
There you go. Okay, Ron, it's all on you, buddy.
What's on me?
You got to show your stuff, man.
Oh,
Oh, you
Whoa.
son of a- Did you just do? Oh my God!
Holy smoke.
Freaking
Holy
You
idiot.
drew that whole thing just today
Just
during
now.
this show?
wow.
Oh
God
my
damn, son.
Look
That's
at
so
that.
great.
Son of a.
That's crazy.
Well, all right.
Fantastic.
Gary, mark my name off the list. I'm not going to be on the
Okay.
show anymore.
And
all
11 by
right.
17 too, not just some,
Oh
small.
my gosh, Ron.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What's the gray tone? Is that like markers or
Yeah, it's just the
Copic markers? Okay.
So yeah, everything about this is cool. And then you took the time to illustrate all those laces on his boot.
Yeah, I fucked him up
Yeah,
there.
Son
holy
of a-
shit.
I have to actually fix that.
Lightning,
Hey, Ron.
thunder. Oh man.
Ron,
Very good. Very
Ron,
good.
Ron. Can I have it?
What? Somebody wants it?
David said, "Can he have it?"
Aaron, I think you missed
Russell's super chat. Hold on a second.
I think you're higher than a kite, man. But
Daniel Russell, I think, has a super chat. I
oh,
think.
okay. Says what all-star panel today, even with Lopez. Judas
Ooh,
freaks. Thank you for $1.99.
man.
Wait a minute. Hang on, Ron. Don't wait. Okay, show it again. There you go. Okay.
I think Ron's the clear winner here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
I would say
are,
so.
but it's all over the place.
No
Yeah.
way. You
It's a
guys,
school.
I'm not being nice to Ron anymore. That's what happens. You invite somebody in, you're nice to them, and then they just crush your soul. Brutal.
This is why he doesn't want to come on the drawing streams. He embarrasses all of us. That's why.
it's not.
He feels sorry for us.
I know. Look at him. He's just like those pathetic.
No, I think he was I think he was playing the long game where he was building up sympathy.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny is I was going to show these because I knew the angst I go through this stuff.
Wait a minute. What do you got? Show us something else. What do you got?
Well, I have a commission I'm working on, a Hope versus Cat commission. Now it started out with this slag, right? And then
Wow.
I can't see it quite. Yeah.
Then it went to this. There's so much I slave over this nonsense. Then it's that. And then
Oh,
I realized that Cap's
Oh.
too much like Spider-Man there.
Yeah, and also you're kind of looking right at the.
Tank.
his,
Right at his.
his junk is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
So
it's all
I'm
right.
kind of working on it this way.
Ooh.
Smashes it around. underneath.
That's great. I love that one. Yeah.
That's right, Ron. You drew the Hulk too. I mean, seriously, man, you've done everything at Marvel.
Yeah.
Here's kind of
Hit that.
another sketch.
I love that cap, man. I do. I love that pose.
Yeah, good angle.
Yeah, different.
on the back. Here's the
Oh, that's great.
cap right
You guys. That's
Oh,
great.
Man. So much
So
fun
I
to watch you guys.
working on this thing, and I have to paint it too. So I'm like trying to get it,
Well,
get the composition right. Because honestly, I've taken time off, and it's amazing. Like any muscle, your muscle shrinks, and so I was struggling trying to get the composition and couldn't.
well, you're winning the struggle, so good on you. Hey, that's gonna do it for this week's Graybeard's Studio. I want to thank Graham Nolan for not just drawing one but two drawings on this show to embarrass us all. And then, of course,
2
Ron
minutes
Garney
and one.
making us look like children. And but I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on. I know you got busy schedules, and we really appreciate it. I know the chat really appreciates it. And I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us and the super chats and all that good stuff. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you all. Make sure you tune in to Landing Party tonight. If you want more Ron Garney, more Graham Nolan, and more me, we'll be there at about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So everybody
Plus,
take care.
Anna.
Enjoy your evening. And we'll see you right here next week on Graybeard's Studio.
Corn dogs. Corn dogs. Corn dogs.
Thank you.